Hi, everybody. My name is Danny Weisberg, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of VoiceItt.
And I'm Devorah Mason, Business Development Manager of VoiceItt.
Our mission in VoiceItt is to give a voice to the voiceless, and Talkitt is our first application.
I want to be a firefighter when I grow up. My mom says it's too dangerous, but I think it's only dangerous if there's a fire. I was born 12 weeks before my expected birth date. Is 1.9 pounds heavy or light? I want to speak, but the words remain inside me. People just don't understand me. My name is Ray. I'm 5 years old. And tomorrow, I will start speaking freely.
Imagine that you wake up one day and you try to speak, and suddenly no one understands you. Not your friends, not even your close family. How frustrating and painful will that be for you? This is the day-to-day reality for more than 100 million people around the world. Children that were born with cerebral palsy or autism and Down syndrome. Adults after stroke, Parkinson's, ALS, traumatic brain injury, and in many, many more situations. A few years ago, my beloved grandmother had a stroke. She was the center of our family, and after that, she couldn't speak again. The story of my grandmother was our inspiration to develop Talkitt, an innovative application that will give people with speech disabilities their voice back by enabling them to communicate in the most natural means there is, their own voice. Let me show you how it works. Meet Orit. Orit is a lovely and intelligent young woman who was born with cerebral palsy. She will say a few words in English. Try to understand what she says.
Now I can start speaking freely.
Any guesses? Now let me show you how Talkitt can change her life.
Now I can
Now I can
start speaking freely.
speaking freely.
At Talkitt, we are developing an innovative, patent-protected, personalized speech recognition technology, which is adaptive to the unique pronunciation of the person and can work in any language. The user, with the help of his caregiver, can calibrate the software in a very fast and easy process, which takes no longer than 2 hours. The usage of Talkitt is completely hands-free. And once the software is calibrated, it continues to learn and adapt to the user's unique pronunciation. Today, there are several solutions that exist in the market, such as head tracking, eye tracking, and communication boards. However, none of those solutions uses voice, which makes them bulky, unnatural to use, and very expensive, costing thousands of dollars. Talkitt is a truly disruptive solution because it will enable people with speech disabilities to communicate in the most natural means there is, their own voice.
Our initial market strategy is B2C. When you take into consideration the ease of availability of our application to our end user, which they can download directly from the App Store, I'm sure you can imagine that the opportunity is huge. At a price point of $20 per month, we're looking at an addressable market of $2.4 billion per year in the US and Europe alone. Our database of recordings is a critical byproduct of the mobile application Talkitt, and the only one of its kind, giving it value by allowing us to fine-tune each user's experience. As more users download and use the application, the database grows, the detection rate increases, and the calibration stage becomes shorter. We have a promising presence in US and in Europe, as we've already established partnerships with many US and European entities, including hospitals, daycare centers, universities, and schools, including the New York City Department of Education. They allow us to test the solution with our target population by providing us with recordings which we can then use and are essential for both testing and research. We are currently in active discussions with IBM, Apple, Verizon, and Philips, who have strong interest in creating a long-term relationship with VoiceItt. This past year was a very exciting one for VoiceItt, as we were the recipients of many prestigious awards and programs such as the Verizon Powerful Answers, Philips Innovation, and Wall Street Journal. And now we're so honored and excited to have been chosen as one of the finalists for 43North. Okay, so to date, we've received $1.5 million in funding from government, investors, as well as competitions. We're currently in alpha testing with the promise of a success rate of more than 90% with a vocabulary of up to 20 words. During the time span of the 43North program, we plan to reach beta stage, launch the product, thus reaching market profitability by mid-2018. At VoiceItt, we have a strong and highly dedicated team of professionals with technological, entrepreneurial, and business expertise. Our senior algorithm developers are graduates of both MIT and the Technion. Our advisory board is comprised of strategic and market experts who continue to support and direct VoiceItt towards our continuing success. Buffalo's innovative research-based ecosystem, both in healthcare and education, is highly relevant to us, allowing us to leverage this important partner network. The University of Buffalo, the Hearing and Speech Center, the Niagara Medical Campus, as well as the large medical insurance providers are all valuable partners for us when it comes to marketing, dissemination, as well as testing. Our entryway to the US is through New York State, where we plan to set up teams of R&D, marketing, as well as distribution, thus establishing a long-term presence in Buffalo for many years to come.
Now, please meet our close friend, Chris Fonseca. We gave Chris Talkitt. This is what he gave to us.
Chris
Fonseca.
Fonseca.
I'm originally from Colorado, and when people find that out, they ask me, do you ski? No, Goober. I'm too busy skydiving. When I order sushi, I get pastrami. Now I have high cholesterol and cerebral palsy. But with Talkitt, they can't understand me. Thank you. Talkitt.
Thank you, Buffalo and 43North, for giving us the chance to make everybody's voice be heard.
Thank you, 43North.
Gary, the master of talk, perfect for you. First question.
Obviously, as a consumer-facing app, the B2C thing is very attractive. You put it in the App Store, away we go. Seems to me, given the narrow nature of the opportunity in the scheme of things, B2B is very attractive. I was surprised that you said we were going to start with B2C. I've often looked at companies that have started as, Mike and I are in a business that started as B2C, quickly went to B2B. The company's fundamentally changed overnight. Saw all those great partners. Concerning for me a little bit that that's part of the marketing plan. Why? Talk me off the ledge of being mad at you.
So first, our first market area is indeed B2C, and we see companies like Apple that are saying this is a huge application, we're going to support you. And we have thousands of people.
And they're going to support you by featuring you for a week, right? I mean, like, Apple is only going to go so far in supporting you.
Unless they fully integrate it.
And they started to talk about it as well. Yeah, is integrated in Siri and opening Siri.
Yeah, I mean,
Siri can be accessible now to children with Down syndrome. Yeah.
What examples of Apple?
Fine, it gives you like.
Well, I'm saying it's fine because I'd love for you to. I'm saying it's fine because it's fun for me to hear your first example of Apple integrating an outside app within their entire ecosystem.
Well, why wouldn't they dream big, right?
Well, dreaming is great, Mike, but I'd love the example of taking an outside company that Apple has deemed so great that they integrate directly into their OS.
But let me refer to your question.
Please.
You are right that we see a lot of B2B possibilities. First of all, we're going to also release a dashboard for school, for hospitals, for speech therapists, where they can see statistics of multiple patients. Second of all, the database that we create is unique. There's no such database of people with speech disabilities, and it can be used for research purposes, for ALS, Parkinson's, and etc., for research institutions. Third, we have the diagnostic. We always see, we can measure the stability of the person's, how he speaks. And this could be very interesting for pharmaceutical companies to see how well is their medication
You just
working.
gave 3 examples of B2B applications. That's my point. Somebody else?
So I have a quick question, not quick perhaps, but so I actually have an uncle who has ALS, and he uses a Toby. So I was looking at your slides, which is eye recognition.
That's true.
So my question for you is really product-based. In A, how good is your technology at continuing to refine its ability to pick up the speech of the user? Question A. Question B is, I guess, at what level of deterioration? So I've watched my uncle deteriorate from being able to actually mouth a little bit, like some of your examples here, to just murmuring. So at what level can you kind of have nothing to work with in this technology? And I don't know how what is that, by decibels? I don't know how you measure that.
Those are great questions. So first, as you mentioned, Toby and the other eye tracking, head tracking solutions are not really competition, are more complementary. Because with degenerative diseases, the person at the beginning, his speech is okay. Then it begins to deteriorate and be unrecognizable, and he can use Talkitt. But by the end of the disease, he might have no speech at all, and then he can use Toby, which, by the way, costs $15,000. It's a very expensive solution. Now, with degenerative diseases specifically, we have the ability that the software will learn the person's speech on stealth mode while it's still intact, and this way creating a voice banking automatically of his original voice. So once his speech becomes deteriorated, the software already learned his unique way of pronouncing, and it adaptively learns while it deteriorates. And the output will be his original voice. He can keep his original voice. And for ALS patients and Parkinson's patients, it is very important. It has a very emotional importance to keep your original voice.
I'll just piggyback on this with a marketing question quickly, and a little bit to Gary's point. I actually see a lot of B2C opportunity here, just from my personal experience. I know how little support people with these sort of disabilities get from the larger ecosystems, which would make sense for a B2B play, but they don't get that support. Like, my uncle's on his own to get a Toby, to get a this, to get a wheelchair, to get, and so I do see that as a big B2C play. But to Gary's point, have you thought about, partnerships with like home health aides and nurses and things, because they can begin to bring those in on the iPads and introduce that to someone like my uncle.
Yeah, 100%. I have to tell you that one of the reasons we are also taking into consideration that our initial market is B2C is because we all have this strong commitment to providing a solution to the people who are somewhat constrained with their communication. It's part of what motivates us on a day-to-day basis to make sure that Talkitt becomes a reality. It's why we're here. We know already from Apple and IBM and all of the big strategic partners, and we also are aware, based on our technology, of what the technology is capable of. We know that there's more opportunities. We discussed it a little bit less here, just because our commitment is to the population. We really believe that this is something that's going to be life-altering, life-changing, and it's so important to us to make sure that we provide that. We provide that expectation.
And it is so important that we see in the longer term, we can take this technology that is developed for people with speech disabilities and can tweak it and adopt it to mass market solutions. For example, correcting accents. There are hundreds of millions of people in China and in India and billions actually, and in Korea that would love to have something that will help them to correct the accent, or improving the main stream of the speech recognition engine, because this technology, these algorithms that we're developing can even take Siri mainstream to the next level.
I have something actually.
Sure.
So first of all, I have a son on the autistic spectrum, so I can tell you as a parent, there is an absolute demand for this product, and parents want to have conversations with their kids, so I commend you for that. I want to push back a little bit on this distribution question, and I think it's really about the professionals who are going to educate the families and the patients. So when you think about how you're going to get this product out there, talk about how you're going to integrate yourself with the web of professional service providers who are ultimately going to educate the consumer on buying the product.
Well, I think that in general, when I talk about our U.S. partnerships and European partnerships, a lot of it has to do with medical professionals who have reached out to us without even having to do active marketing, saying we want this product, we want this solution for our patients, for our hospitals. Just connecting with the right people in the hospitals, in the healthcare centers, speech therapists. They are the ones who want to use the technology both for their treatments, for maintaining a consecutive record of how their patient status is, as well as providing it for other solutions within the healthcare system. So, once we're here in Buffalo especially, and we have the amazing network that is available to us, we can even go further. It's, we've had a lot of people reach out to us, a lot of hospitals, universities and so on, but now we're going to even go further with it.
And again, without any marketing effort, there is no day that we don't get a mail from a school, from a hospital, from a daycare center saying what you're doing is amazing, we want to partner with you, we want to be better testers for you. And we kind of pushed back a bit CBS and Bloomberg TV and NPR that wanted to do articles on us, because we don't want to create the expectations on the wrong timing. We will push it, we will use this once we're ready, before the release. But it is so different from what exists out there that I think it will be easy sell. Yeah.
So who do you view as the key decision maker for referring this to be used?
Sorry,
Essentially, who do you view as going to be the key decision maker
Yeah.
for referring this to be used with a patient, basically, that has a speech impediment for whatever reason, whether it's neurodegenerative? I'm just curious. Can you?
So in kids, like children with cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, autism, usually it's the parents that reach out to us. We see hundreds and thousands of parents sending us mail saying, this is so amazing, my child is intelligent, but he cannot speak, and we would love to have this product.
Danny, on this though, you've mentioned, we've talked about kids with autism, ALS, cerebral palsy, et cetera. Where are you starting? You have to start with one. You can't do all of them to begin with. Where are you starting?
We're starting with the kids, and specifically cerebral palsy, because we see, again, statistically, we see that the big majority of people that come to us are parents to children with CP and Down syndrome and some autism. So that's our starting point.
Okay, one more question.
No.
Jordy, no? So this is quick.
We'll talk fast.
So you guys haven't talked about, there's this magical thing that happens when it's calibrated over. What is really going on there?
In a nutshell, what's going on is we create a personalized dictionary for the person. There is a mapping between a pattern, a voice pattern, and a meaning. And as long as the person speaks consistently, it will map to the meaning and will translate.
Okay.
You ask a Jew, and a short answer doesn't exist. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.